RJ, please tell us a bit more about yourself.
Hi, I'm RJ Chatellier. I'm from South Florida. I recently graduated from Clemson University as a construction science and management major. And I went there for 5 years. I originally started as a undecided engineering major leaning towards civil and then made the switch over to construction. Loved every second of it and had a great time. I was also the founding member of the Clemson Spectrum program. So I was there through all 5 years of it, watching and helping it grow and develop, starting as a student and then kind of growing into more of a student liaison role.
Can you please share a bit more about your new job?
So Clemson has I think it has the world's best career center. So they have a lot of resources to help you get a job. I think they have like 80% job placement on graduation. Construction has near 100%. My mom randomly bumped into somebody on a construction project 5 minutes away, another commercial construction firm that is with 3 Clemson alumni, including one of the owners. So I interviewed and they offered me a job. And so, yeah, I'm just going to start in about a month and I'm really looking forward to it.
How did you grow and change over your 5 years at Clemson?
Clemson was a growing experience for me, and growing experiences, I think, for everybody. They're kind of love and hate because you love the growth, but you hate the pain that you have to go through to get there. So I went to Clemson in 2019. This was my first time being kind of away from home. Also, not having my sister at the same school. I'm a twin. So this is it's a lot of big steps. It's a long drive up there, and it's very different because I'm from the Fort Lauderdale, Miami region. Clemson's not that type of town. It's a very small, just college town. So it was kind of, it was a little bit of culture shock when I first got there. And engineering, when I first started, it's a very difficult major. They have a lot of weed out classes, and just learning the basics, doing laundry, how to eat properly, working out properly, managing your classes, your emails. No, it's very hard because a lot of times it feels like somehow you're just expected to know all this stuff because especially in a major like engineering, when they have so many students, it's kind of hard to sit down or have an ongoing conversation with your advisor when advisors can come in and out the door very easily, especially at the freshman level. So the Spectrum program was one of the reasons I decided to go to Clemson. They were founding a program to help people on the spectrum. And from the other schools I got into, Clemson felt like it was the best one to grow me and also have support network I needed. So we decided to go there, and the program got off to a little bit of a rocky start. One of the kind of the overseer of it actually had to leave 3 weeks before the program started. So the first 2 weeks it was seen over by the head of the accessibility program at Clemson, Margaret Camp, who's lovely in every single way. She's great. Responsive, helpful with navigating everything, really great with communicating with teachers, for advocating. And probably around September, October, they hired Tom Beeson, who is equally as amazing. As I think next year we'll have 50 students from, starting from just one out of 50. It's really amazing to see. And without the program, I would not have navigated college. I wouldn't have probably lasted the first semester, knowing things like, how to get your registration code, setting up your advisor appointment, all those things. It's very hard to navigate. So that was my time at Clemson. There were definitely peaks and lows. The beginning kind of started out low, and then I kind of peaked around sophomore, the second and third year. I was still living on campus by that point. I was really in shape. I was working out. I loved being able to walk all my classes. Then I moved off campus, and that was kind of a tornado because the place I was staying at was not ready for most of the first semester, so I didn't have access to a gym readily. And parking with many college campuses is, once you move off campus, you realize what a struggle finding parking is, and find places you can park, and sometimes you have to plan your schedule around parking. I definitely recommend living on campus for as long as you're able to. But I wanted to live off campus to grow off campus, have a full kitchen, learn how to cook, those kind of things, be more independent. Kind of preparing me for when I move into an apartment by myself or with a roommate in the future, once I move out during this kind of interim period between college and my job starting. So yeah, by that, and then my last year, my senior year, there was a lot of family, personal matters going on. So that was a lot to handle because, there was other stuff going on and life happens. That's something you learn in college. I mean, the university in general, they have a lot of great programs there. They have a lot of great clubs. A lot of people enjoy it. If I had a chance to do it again, I would, because for the Spectrum program. But if I could have had the Spectrum program at somewhere closer to home with the same people, I might have taken that option. Just because being away from home is hard, and yeah.
Sounds like you had a great experience with the Clemson Spectrum program then.
That's definitely. But touching more on the Spectrum program, I think every college should have. I hope the Spectrum program would get more marketing in the future, especially now that we have 50 students, yet a lot of people don't know it still exists. Having someone to help you navigate, remind you when housing registration is, and when, to see your advisor and booking those appointments, especially when, at least in your first semester, your first year, the biggest thing you're just trying to do is stay afloat, go to your classes on time, especially when freshmen have kind of like the last pick at class times, and passing your exams, and because it's a very different environment from school and how they grade. And also just, doing your laundry, trying to get used to walking around campus, finding a new friend group. It's very helpful to have those things, because a lot of those things, at least to me and a lot of other people, might slip their mind, because a lot of schools just don't have a tutorial. And as the program grows, they're going to have more resources, like being able to recommend more places off campus, maybe having a living learning community on campus. Hopefully, once Clemson handles their housing crisis, maybe even having the ability to allow people in the Spectrum program to live on campus all 4 years.
And the Spectrum program also offers their own classes, right?
And those are great. Having classes that help you navigate. Some of my favorite classes in the program were, I think the habit building and breaking class was really great. It helped me a lot with working out, setting up a skincare routine, those kind of things. And also breaking some of my bad habits, like biting nails, were really helpful. There's a lot of others about adulting, about advocating, learning a little bit about the history of the Spectrum program, and all those things. It's great to have someone in your corner who can, reach out to teachers, explain the situation, help you get the resources you need, whether it's a pen that can record lectures, or extra course materials such as the PowerPoints they use, or extra time on exams, and being able to have some wiggle room at what time you take them. So, because a lot of times, especially in the bigger majors and the bigger classes, they'll have you take them at 6 p.m. at night, 7 p.m. at night. And by that time, I'm done and my medication's done. At least I also have ADHD. So at that point, yeah, I'm clocking out. I want dinner. I want to relax some. And so being able to take it at noon at a testing center is in a quiet environment is really great with extra time. And having people in your corner be able to explain this to teachers and advocate for you, because sometimes you just feel like another number in a class, and sometimes that makes you feel like you can't, even if you advocate, what's the point? Because you're just another number. They'll just say no. There's nothing you're gonna get out of that. And yeah, so as the program grows, it's become more structured, more different, more classes. We've been getting better classrooms and all that kind of stuff. So,
what advice do you have for incoming freshmen just starting college?
A few things. It's kind of odd because I was one of the COVID students, so some things just didn't pan out. One thing is try and find a good friend group, and I don't want to make it seem like you need to find them fast and make a rash decision, but usually when it comes to picking who you're going to live with next year, you might not realize this, especially with your starting. October comes up very quickly, and you have to make those decisions really early on. So finding a roommate, spending a lot of time with them to kind of see if they have any make or break roommate habits, such as being loud and inviting people over. That's really important to do. Because I was able to get a lot of solo dorms, but not everybody has that privilege or opportunity to do that. Write down all your dates, pick a calendar or an app, get used to checking it, once a day at least. But make sure you go through your syllabuses and just get a few things down, like how many absences you're allowed and the exam policies, if they're open note, closed note, online, proctored, those kind of things. Another one is using a website like Rate My Professor or Coursical. I cannot stress the important enough. When you are picking your classes, use those websites, because a professor can make or break a class. Trying to, look for things like homework, grading policies, leniency, how well they communicate, both just orally and also what's the material that's actually going to be on the exam. It could give you a lot of help to know, if maybe some of their questions are just going to be out of the book and they never mention it. They just say read the book, but they never really go over it. And then, boom, questions on the exam. And I wish I had known that earlier, because that's a very important tool to be able to try and pick the professors properly. I'd also say for people with Spectrum, make sure you get your accommodations in, because sometimes they'll allow for things like priority registration for you to go before everybody else, which really helps with getting those classes. And try to pick times that work well for you. Either, if you're able to wake up early in the morning, I would say, try for the 9, so you can kind of clear out your afternoon. I try to leave my afternoon free. And I'm trying to think about what other. Do not get into the habit of eating a lot of junk food or fast food or those kind of things, despite what's on campus. Just try and tell yourself no, or try and set like one day a week. And if you have a great campus, really look at the signs for their food. If they post the calories, it helps to count those, because the freshman 15 is a real thing. So setting up times to go to the gym is very helpful, and watching what you eat is even more helpful. I'm trying to think about what else. Try and, while you're at home for your last summer, and appreciate that summer, because you don't know when you're going to have to start doing internships over the summer. So appreciate these last few summers that you probably have. Try and start doing things around the house that maybe you don't do chores wise. Washing and putting away your dishes, doing your own laundry and learning how to do it, even though all washing machines kind of seem a little bit different. Learning at least the basic settings and how to do it and the materials you need is very important. Start trying to put together a list, turn off a list of what you're going to need at college. A shower caddy, hangers, those kind of things. And start preparing and start mentally preparing yourself for college, because it's definitely a growing experience.
Is there anything else you'd like to cover before we conclude?
There is one more thing I forgot to mention about the Spectrum program, is the social aspect. They have they try and do a social event a week, whether that's to go to the Barn Center, which is kind of like a community center, which hosts one night they might have a hypnotist one week, and another night they might have a Build-A-Bear workshop for, making tigers. Going to certain sports games like football games or tailgating, or going to some of the soccer games or those kind of things, or hosting a movie night or a video game night, or a board game night, which is great because a lot of people, at least in my experience in the Spectrum program, they really struggle with social interaction a lot more. And me, I don't know if it was my parents forcing me out of my comfort zone when I was young, but I didn't really struggle that much with the social aspect of the autism spectrum disorder. That was kind of, by college I had really had a grasp over it. It was more of the executive functioning, homework, procrastination aspects. But for a lot of kids, that can be super helpful. And joining clubs and getting outside of your comfort zone and growing is very important.
A big thanks to RJ. For more information on the Clemson Spectrum program, please visit their website. And remember to subscribe for more great information from Inclusive Academia.